Hey, everybody. I got a few comments, really nice comments, some not so nice comments about the Future of AI and Work podcast that was just up. Um, so let's talk about it. I'm going to give you a quick kind of like an extra 2 minutes in terms of what's going to happen, what I think is going to happen. Yes, this is fundamentally going to change work. I don't think anybody can disagree with that. Businesses and leadership are recognizing this. How do you leverage it for more productivity and more efficiency across the board? Pair that with everything that happened during the pandemic in terms of tracking productivity and what people are actually doing and working from home, and this big dynamic about, do I work from home? Do I work from not? What does productivity actually mean? There's a lot of philosophical discussion going on in the workplace about what's possible, where the organization is going to go, and how do we think about people. All the talk right now is about AI, how it's going to change the world, how we're all going to be left irrelevant, all this stuff. I want to frame your mind, and that was kind of the hope for the podcast, in terms of something that's more helpful than just this idea that AI is going to disrupt everything and change everything. Organizations should be looking at how to leverage AI. Of course, it's a productivity play. Absolutely, it's going to happen. What do I think about the workplace? It's going to fundamentally reshift in terms of how we think about people. That's I would argue that's undeniable at this point, that it's going to fundamentally change the way that we approach people, the way we value our people, and the way that we think that people are going to be utilized. Of course, I think that's undeniable. Conversations that are happening at the workplace as they think 5 years in the future. Okay, 3 years in the future. What does it mean? What are our priorities? Strategic priorities are shifting because the workplace and market dynamics are forcing a shift, and people are trying to get in front of it. Organizations are trying to get in front of it. Organizations are talking about the possibility. They do these bands. What do we do with 25% of our workforce, 50% of our workforce, 75% of the workforce? I was doing this 15 years ago in corporate. If the market goes up by this much or down by this much, 75%, what budget constraints do we have, and what are the priorities, and how do we deprioritize, and what's really vital to keeping the organization in place versus not? Now it's more of an exercise in terms of how do we backfill with AI, rather than just cut and stop doing things. How does AI change this discussion? So conversations are happening in the workplace. Could we operate with 25% of our workforce? Now, they're not going to rip that Band-Aid tomorrow, but decisions are in play, as businesses should be, right? The biggest expense most places have are their people. But on the other side of it is, how do we get that 25% to be really, really good? And so while these conversations are happening, the top 25%, they're going to really want the creative individuals who can leverage AI to come up with more business ideas and create more work. That's value. And so when we think about you as an individual, you're going to have to do the work to get familiar with AI. You're going to have to do the work to make yourself relevant. And I do think there's an obligation on organizations to help you do that. Okay, but we can't just be passive observers waiting for that to happen, because other people are being very active in it right now. So getting into the top 25%, it takes learning, it takes intentionality, becoming familiar with how we can actually leverage this. Organizations in the future are going to be slick. They're going to be awesome. They're going to be doing everything to make sure the best of the best can come to their organization. So there is going to be this marrying of this desired workplace culture, and they know based on data that they're going to be getting the best people because of what they're producing and everything else. So the conversation is going to get very streamlined in terms of best workplace, best people. How do we mesh the two and bring them together? That's what's going to happen. Your job is to figure out where that fit is for you. Okay, what makes you uniquely human? What value are you particularly bringing? That's your work over the next 12 to 18 months to explore, try, think, have these conversations. Once you get into it, more opportunities are going to kind of facilitate and manifest and see where they're going to go as workplaces change. But you can't do this on your own. So build that social network, have those conversations, learn, practice, see what's relevant, and some things are going to open up for you. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. It's going to be great. So good luck with it. Happy AI learning, and I look forward to talking to everybody soon. Thanks.